देख रहे हैं अवाम के उठाए गए सवालात, हालत हाजरा पर तबसरों, तज्जियों, खबरों पर मुहित प्रोग्राम न्यूज लाइन रिदा सैफी के साथ।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम, मैं हूँ रिदा सैफी। नाजरीन, पाकिस्तान और जर्मनी के माबैन हमेशा से बड़े ही गहरे और मजबूत ताल्लुकात रहे हैं और इसी ज़मन में आज हम हमारा एक्सक्लूसिव प्रोग्राम करने जा रहे हैं जिसमें कराची में मौजूद तैनात कौंसल जनरल डॉक्टर रुदिगर लॉर्ड्स हमारे आज मेहमान होंगे और उनसे बात करेंगे। ये आज उनका तकरीबन आखिरी प्रोग्राम है किसी टीवी चैनल को, क्योंकि वो जा रहे हैं और चेंज ऑफ कौंसल जनरल एक रूटीन की प्रैक्टिस है जो हर 2 से 3 साल के बाद होती है, तो वो जा रहे हैं। उनसे कुछ थोड़ी सी उनके हवाले से भी बात करेंगे और पाकिस्तान और जर्मनी के हवाले से, और साथ ही ग्लोबल डायलॉग के ऊपर भी हम उनसे कोशिश करेंगे कि बात करें। सो टुडे वी हैव अ वेरी स्पेशल गेस्ट, एज आई हैव टोल्ड यू, द जर्मन कौंसल जनरल डॉक्टर रुदिगर लॉर्ड्स इन आवर स्टूडियो. Let's welcome him. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the program.
Assalamualaikum wassalam. Thanks for inviting me to the show.
Thanks for coming and joining us. So, Excellency, it's your it's your third or fourth program with me, and during your tenure, with a heavy heart, I must say that we had very good connection and coordination with each other. So now I mean, like, it's from very heavy heart. I have to say goodbye to you because it's your farewell reception these days. So, how did you find your whole visit in the Pakistan, especially in Karachi, and how did you see with your naked eyes the view of Pakistan, the culture, the vibe, the social activities, everything?
Thank you very much. No, we have had a great time here in Karachi, in Pakistan, my family and I. And I always say, at the end of the day, it's always about people. It's about people when you live as a foreigner in a country where you haven't been before. You come here, you don't know anyone. The warmth and hospitality that I have experienced here is unique. And I think this is a one single aspect which I think I will take with me as a memory of the time here. We have had many friends, and we really enjoyed our time in Karachi. And I traveled a lot in Pakistan, in the province and beyond, and it was a great experience.
So, if we talk about Karachi especially and the food especially, so how did you find this food, the culture and this all, you know, because food is totally different aspect. Like, if we talk about Pakistan, the food and the food is totally different, and if we see the Europe, the food of the Europe and that side, so that is, you know, bit or you can say less spices are there. But in Pakistan, especially in Karachi, the food is very spicy and everything you find it's spicy, especially the biryani. So what was your experience about that?
Well, when I came here, of course, as you said, for European food at the beginning is very spicy.
Yeah.
Very spicy, so I had to get used to it. But it went so far that now if I go home to Germany and eat food there, German food, I think they must have forgotten the spices. It has no flavor. So I adapted very well.
You adapted very well. That's nice. So how would you describe the current state of, if we talk about Pakistan and Germany, and now as you are leaving, you were here for 2-3 years. You've seen everything in a bit and meager to major level, of course. So how do you describe the current state of diplomatic relations between Germany and Pakistan?
Now, we have always had good relations since basically the beginning in 1947. We have close ties. We always, as a diplomatic mission, you try to deepen the ties further. Trade exchange is quite good. It stands close to €5 billion, which is a good number. But I always feel for a country of the size of Pakistan, with 250 million people, emerging middle class, young population, and so on, we can do more. It should be even bigger than that.
I was reading actually the bilateral trade about Germany and Pakistan that makes amazed that it has crossed almost the 3 billion mark.
Yeah.
What sectors do you see as having the most untapped potential?
Yeah, the tap potential, which still can grow, of course, is a textile sector. 85% of Pakistani exports to Pakistan come from the textile sector, which is wonderful because it shows how highly competitive the sector is. But you ask about the untapped sectors, agriculture, medical products, pharmaceutical products, like tools for surgery. Pakistan has very good pharmaceutical companies,
Yes.
for example. Yeah, these are areas, but things like services, call centers, and so. Yeah, I think there's lots of potential.
There's a lot of potential. Yes, exactly. It is. Excellency, of course, you have done so many efforts for putting together both the countries, the diplomatic, bilateral, G2G, B2B relationships in your tenure. So, are there any upcoming trade delegations, agreements, initiatives aimed at enhancing more economic cooperation, which you have been set and you are foreseeing?
Now, one project that we are pursuing is to have a permanent office of our Chamber of Commerce. We have an international system of Chamber of Commerce and industry all over the world. The one that covers Pakistan sits in Dubai, which is nice to have it. It would be much nicer, of course, to have people sitting here in an office in Karachi who can serve as the interlocutors for anyone who is interested in investing here or getting active in trade relations. So that's I think it's very important. I always try to bring delegations here,
Yes.
and particularly when it comes to business. I'm convinced at the end of the day you cannot do business online. You cannot establish relations. You have to know your business partner. So we try to bring in delegations
Exactly.
who should exactly do that.
Yeah, you're right. Your efforts are really appreciative. One thing more, of course, we're talking about economic business, corporations, trade, but yes, because I am in this industry, I really need to talk about this as well, which is very important. And I have seen you on so many other TV stations as well. Always, you are very much connected and very much active in the media fraternity as well. So, how do you see the media diplomacy as well?
No, I think that's also very important to have an exchange of journalists in both ways, in both directions, because you can report objectively how you see things happening in Europe and explain how, for example, the debate on certain issues is proceeding, and the same the other way around. I always often see that when you read in international media about Pakistan, journalists who are sometimes not even coming to the country or sitting elsewhere and reporting something of which they also don't have really knowledge from first hand. And that is not good. Of course, it's sometimes difficult to do it differently. But I always feel, my experience is whoever comes to Pakistan in particular from Germany comes back with a far more positive opinion. So there's still a perception problem sometimes. So when you come, when you talk to people, you get a far better impression, and that's also why it's so important.
But you can say that we are the responsible media. We report in a responsible manner. Yes, that's a way, and you must have seen it in a recent manner as well. In so many wars happened up recently, like Iran-Israel war, Pakistan-India war. You had seen that how responsibly and how in a mature manner we have responded. The other media outlets you had gone through definitely. So, Excellency, now this is a very important question which I'm going to ask you, because Europe has seen the tragic loss in World War II, and you have celebrated, you have actually marked it as well few days ago, the 80 years of World War II as well, and you have been given the all that particular information about that tragic losses, that what has happened, and you have had that the impression of it because you have been through with that. So keeping that in a view, you must have a very close eye on the global global stature. So keeping that in a view, you have seen in the last previous days that there were the escalation and there were the tension between so many places, like we have seen the Iran, Israel, we had seen the Pakistan and India as well. So keeping that in a view, and having said that, what you suggest, and how do you see that you have went through with the impression of the war? So you have seen the destruction, you have seen the consequences of it. Keeping that in a, what do you suggest the world that about that? Are these wars really bring something on the table, or as we all know that war is not an option ever?
Well, it would be a bit preposterous for me to suggest something to the world, but I agree very much with you. Europe was completely destroyed back in 1945, and that's actually less than a century ago.
Yeah.
And we talk about the generation of my grandparents who still have seen that. And after the war, we decided in Europe, finally, to work closely together and to understand that war is not an option. We have that wonderful friendship with France now. Yesterday was a French National Day, of course.
You along with your team was there, yeah.
And I think it took us a long time in Europe to understand that. And war is not really an option. I'm convinced that in the long term it does not solve problems. And before, to put it differently, you should talk 100 or 1,000 times before you shoot one time. And I think that's a message. You have to try to talk to each other, and if you have a conflict, of course you have to talk to people who have another opinion. It doesn't make sense to only communicate to the like-minded, that's easy, but you have to engage with basically your enemy or your opponent and try to find a common ground.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because as you have said that war is not an option every time, because war means like everything going to be destroyed, destruction and dead, because war has never been an option. You're absolutely right. So the tensions which are aggravating in different parts of the world, and to those countries especially, what a specific thing you suggest them that they should do it immediately to stop these tensions in the world?
Well, one element certainly is not to raise further the tensions. It's also a question of rhetoric, how you communicate. It's also a question of empathy. You absolutely have to try to get into the shoes of the other side. And all the conflicts you mentioned, if that would be done, and you understand that also on the other side people suffer, that children suffer, families suffer, civilians who have nothing to do with the conflict. I think that's important, and if you are able to do that, of course your willingness to proceed with military means will be enormously reduced.
You're right. I got a question from my team that I asked you about the Germany's role in de-escalating tensions and promoting regional peace, but I think, in my view, because this is my team's view, but what I believe that as you have marked and you have had this memorial ceremony of 80 years of it, this is the way that you are telling people that, see, we have been through with this thing and now you should learn from our experiences. So I think this is the role which you are playing.
I think that's what we try to do. Of course, you can never copy one situation 100% to a different regional background and historical background. But yeah, that was our attempt to try to see what interests we have in common. And it's often it's the interest of common people. It's the interest of business, for example. Sometimes it's helpful to leave politics aside and simply to focus on doing business or so, where the interest is so obvious to cooperate. Political questions can be tough to address, but you have this human exchange, for example. People want to cross borders to visit other countries. To start on this level,
Yes, you are absolutely right. So, Excellency, now we've talked about the business, corporation, trade, diplomacy, and everything. In the end, I would like to know that one memory which you are, I mean, of course, you have so many memories you are taking along with you to back and your next appointment, but one that memory which you can never be forget and forget about Pakistan or Karachi you have with you. Share with our viewers.
Now, perhaps it's two memories. The first memory is really, look, when you come as a foreigner to another country, you don't know anyone. In other countries where I was posted to, I experienced it can take a year or so till the first people invite you to their private houses. Here, it happened on the first day. It has never stopped.
Ah.
So this kind of warmth and hospitality.
Wow.
And I was never invited anywhere where I didn't feel welcome. So that's so deep in the local culture that that's absolutely
Indeed.
Wonderful.
Indeed.
A second memory is when we had a project to build sustainable housings in the flood affected areas in a village.
Yeah.
So I went there and I stayed there overnight. I had a great experience with the people in these marginalized areas.
Yes.
And I got food for dinner, and that was one of the best foods I've eaten in Pakistan,
Wow.
in a place where honestly I hadn't expected it.
Wow, wow, wow. So we wish you very good luck for your future, for your next appointment, and thank you so very much that always you give us your valuable time, and we look forward the more good relations in terms of diplomatic, trade, economy, culture, media, everywhere to Pakistan and Germany's ties more stronger in the future. So thank you so very much once again, Excellency. Would you like to say anything to our viewers?
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for all the hospitality of really everyone I met in Pakistan. We have had a great time here. I think Pakistan is a country that has a huge potential. 250 million people, a young population, median age is 21, emerging middle class, English speaking, in a very nice, good location economically. So I think you sometimes should be far more optimistic about the future of the country than some people perhaps are. I am at least far more optimistic.
Thank you so very much. Inshallah it will happen. Thank you so very much for your valuable time. नाज़रीन, हम बात कर रहे थे डॉक्टर दिगर लॉर्ड से जो काउंसिल जनरल है कराची में तैनात जर्मनी के, और उन्होंने कहा कि पाकिस्तान और जर्मनी के माबैन अभी बहुत ज़्यादा और मज़ीद पोटेंशल है आगे बढ़ने का, और पाकिस्तान के अंदर भी बड़ा पोटेंशल है क्योंकि यहाँ की नौजवान नस्ल है, ऑप्टिमिस्टिक उनकी सोच है, और वो अच्छी यादगार के साथ पाकिस्तान से रुखसत हो रहे हैं. यहाँ एक ब्रेक लेते हैं, ब्रेक के बाद वापस आते हैं. स्टे ट्यून्ड.